On today's podcast, we talk about one of the most powerful life lessons that I learned how to do from a 3-letter setting that's hidden on your iPhone. That is probably one of the most powerful tools to help entrepreneurs expand, grow their business, and achieve their goals. So, I'm going to explain that mode, and you're going to know where to find it on your iPhone and how to use it in your body by the end of today's episode. So, without further ado, let's get into the show. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Mind of George show. And what are we going to be talking about today? Today, we're going to be talking about how you have the power to change who you are and what you become. And sometimes that requires that you enter this top secret mode of your body that allows realignment, that allows refocus, that allows space, that allows grace, that allows recharge, that fills your batteries. And we're going to talk about this mode today. And one of the reasons that we're having this conversation on the podcast today is because in the entire month of January, I recorded 8 episodes for the whole month that basically laid the groundwork or the foundational principles that pretty much guarantee your success. And I've gotten quite a few hundred DMs in the last couple of weeks about that series of podcasts and about those 8. And everybody is saying the same thing. Every time I get off, every time something happens, I now remind myself to go back to those sacred light keeper quadrants, to go back to that wedge of expectation. And it immediately creates relief or results or clarity and helps me navigate it. And so in today's episode, I want to talk about this secret mode in your body and have you build it into your container, have it build it into your sacred light keeper quadrants, have it build it into your daily 5 or whatever it is that you're working on that holds you accountable to winning the race and winning this game, understanding that it's a long game. And so before I tell you what this secret mode is, I want to talk about a term, and the term is called temperance. Now, full credit to the incredible Jeff Spencer, Uncle Jeffy. I love you, my friend. Uncle Jeff, or Dr. Jeff Spencer for others, is one of the most badass human beings on the planet, one of the greatest men I have ever known. I am honored to call him a friend, a father figure, a family member, a business partner, and just a badass human. And Dr. Jeffy is an Olympian. He's responsible for over 70 gold medals. He is the best mindset, high performance, functional coach in the entire world, to the top Fortune 100 CEOs, to superstars like Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson and Lance Armstrong and all these other people that he helped achieve greatness in their life by helping them extract the most out of themselves, not by giving them something they didn't have, but helping them extract the most out, and how to make sure that they can operate on them as the most functional, powerful machine that they can to allow their greatness the chance to be achieved. And he introduced me to this term called temperance, and he said that this would be the term, this would be the paradigm or the belief system or the thing that once I fully understood would allow me to win any game. And I didn't understand what it meant, but he summarized it like this for me. He said, see, the reason that gold medalists or Olympians win isn't because every day for 4 years leading up to the Olympics, they are operating at 100% of their capacity every day. They're pushing 100%. They're operating in the fringe. He said, no, 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 no. He said they live at 70. And 70 is where greatness lives, because every single day you are growing, you are pushing, but you are not draining and emptying yourself. But when the performance is required, or where the competition hits the floor, or when this stress comes in, or this new situation arises, and you need to increase your speed or increase your intensity up to 80% or 90% or 100%, you do so in the lens of that sprint, knowing that it's temporary, to then come back to 70, which will allow you to recover and have the capacity and the reserves in the tank to continually play the long game for the rest of your life, which is going to strengthen you and increase your endurance and your capacity, while also allowing the reserves in the tank to allow you to sprint when needed, focus when needed, grind when needed, whatever that thing is. And that's the term of temperance. And that's been a big concept that once I truly, truly understood has allowed me to be in the life that I live now. And it's really, really funny to me because there's days still to this day, like a couple days ago, where I was like looking at all the things on my plate and I was getting a little overwhelmed for a minute. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get all this done today? And I came into the office and I did get it all done and I was really, really proud of it. But I realized that I only got it done in 3 hours. And I was thinking about it like I was going to be in the office for 10 hours or 12 hours. And I got it all done in three. And then I realized that over the years, I've bought back so much of my time um, that I'm operating in this beautiful container of constraint. But the evidence I'm making up is that like I'm empty and not. And so I've become very powerful with how I use my time, and my time feels like I extract the most out of it when I use it because now I work basically, from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. roughly in my office if I come to the office. But what I'm accomplishing in that time is 7 podcasts and 3 interviews and event planning because I am so focused and intentional, because I allow myself the space to recover. I allow myself the time to rest. And in that time, I get clear on what's going to help me win the long game. And I focus on that, which is the Lightkeeper quadrants. So, what is this mode that I'm talking about? Well, I read this incredible article about a year ago, and it really put into perspective some things I was focusing on, some things that I was learning and sharing. And I decided today that I was going to read this article to you because I think it's time to know about this special mode. So, what is the secret special mode? What is that 3-letter mode? Well, the title of this article is called I Was Completely Burned Out. Then a 3-word setting on my iPhone changed everything. And no, it was not do not disturb. I had a problem. I was in danger of burnout. It wasn't a matter of not liking what I do or no longer finding it sufficiently challenging or even a matter of not making enough money. All of those boxes were checked. But after several years of working diligently through the pandemic, building a small business, and having the satisfaction of reaching millions of people through my work, I'd never really had the chance to unplug completely for any significant amount of time. A day off here, a day off there, sure. Holiday visits with extended family, yep, we did that. We even spent a week at the beach a couple of times. But even on these trips, I'd always find myself pecking away on my laptop after my family went to bed at night, catching up on just one more thing that had to be done, or else checking my phone 10 times a day to see if things that needed to happen in my various work projects had actually happened. And so, to paraphrase Ronald Reagan, I wasn't getting a vacation, I was just getting a change of scenery. And the paradox was puzzling. Come to think of it, checking my phone 10 times a day is a true understatement. I probably don't want to admit the actual number. The point was, I was seeing warning signs, but I also faced a dilemma. On the one hand, my family and I clearly needed time away, unplugged at the maximum possible extent. On the other hand, I hadn't yet built my business and my work to the point where it could run without me for days or weeks at a time. And the paradox was puzzling, but maybe not unfamiliar. More so because I was so confident that getting away would allow me to rest my mind and come back with new approaches to my daily challenges. But it was precisely those daily challenges that made it seem like I couldn't get away. Then early this summer, I found the answer in an unexpected place. While staring at my iPhone after a long day of work, as the battery percentage fell below 20%, an alert flashed on the screen giving me the option to turn on low power mode. And low power mode is how many times I'd seen this warning over the years, how little thought I had given it. You just swipe the screen, watch the battery icon turn from green to yellow, and move on. But now I laughed. That's what I need in my life, I thought. I don't want to quit what I do. I don't want my output to the world to go dark. I just want to turn on low power mode. Mind blown. So over the next few weeks, I used low power mode as the metaphor that guided all of my preparations. I'd already scheduled the trip away, but now I added a bit of buffer time before and after the actual travel so that my calendar showed a full 21 days off in August and early September. Then I set out to pare down everything I did professionally each day, figure out what was truly the low power mode version, the minimum requirements to keep things going, and find ways to schedule that bare minimum ahead of time. And so you have to start with the minimum. Probably the biggest example had to do with the email newsletter I write 5 days a week called Understandably. Most days, every Monday through Friday, all year long, the newsletter includes both an original essay and a series of links to things going on that I would help my readers understand the world. More than 160,000 people subscribe to it, and it's a big part of my work. But the truth is that I never have 3 weeks worth of newsletters set and ready to go ahead of time. I wish. So necessity became the mother of invention. I told my readers what I intended to do and even asked for permission in a way. Instead of shutting down, I told them I plan to pull back a shorter newsletter, fewer up to the minute components, and even reruns. This made a lot of sense, I realized, because my audience had grown to the point that the vast majority of my readers today weren't around to have read some of the good work I did in the earlier days. Anyways, I went ahead and low power mode, as I explicitly called it, meant three things. Number one, first, I was able to create and schedule my 3 weeks of content ahead of time. Second, paradoxically, the percentage of readers who decided to upgrade free subscriptions to the paid premium edition of my newsletter went up about 60% during the 3 weeks I was gone. My theory on this is that the low power mode products were shorter, but still had the same number as exhaustions to upgrade. And then number three, finally, most importantly, I was able to take a nice, long, badly needed vacation just as I'd hoped. My subconscious seems to have worked on some of the biggest challenges I've been facing so that I came back to excited about new solutions. And so next it says, forget quiet quitting. A few weeks after I've returned, I still find myself thinking about the metaphor of low power mode. I think it's a powerful alternative to the two extremes we've seen so much written about during the last few years. First, hustle culture, which seems had everyone working nonstop as hard as they could, trying to achieve and make money before the music stops. Heck, we even had people bragging about how little sleep they got for a while. And then second, the extreme other reaction is the great resignation, or else quiet quitting, with people deciding they've simply had enough and aren't willing to participate any longer, almost no matter the cost. But on your device, low power mode means slowing down certain processes, not updating as often, and generally using less power so that you stretch things out until you plug in again. Isn't that what a lot of us want to do right now? Not quit and go live on an island somewhere, but instead find a way to step back temporarily. Do only what's absolutely required to keep things going for a while, rest and rejuvenate, and then return stronger. If borrowing the name of a setting on your iPhone makes it easy to accomplish, well, then I think it's well worth the label. And so that is the article on low power mode. And this is why I'm so bullish with you about number one, the sacred light keeper quadrants, and identifying those areas in your life, in your mind, your body, your business, and your being, or those things that matter to you that you want to align to. And when you identify those specific actions, you put them into the wedge of expectations and you set yourself your ceiling and your floor. And the ceiling is what your ideal goal is, but the floor is your low power mode. That is exactly what it's designed for. It's so that when you need low power mode, instead of punishing and overwhelming and building resistance about all that you have to get done, you've already identified the minimum requirement that will keep you in progress, keep you in momentum without causing any damage, but allowing you that space to turn on low power mode, and then you hold yourself accountable to putting it into practice. And why this is so important is because most people go from overdrive to burnout, and it's this back and forth dance of like, I'm really, really up, 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 or I'm really, really down, 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 down. And we forget that there's a middle. And in life, in living, our heartbeat, there's ups and downs, but we find that middle, right? In music, there's high notes and there's low notes, but when they meet in the middle, harmony is created. And when it comes to your body, when it comes to your vessel, too much hustle, hustle, hustle is bad. And then too much hide and crawl in a hole is bad. And so what we need to be doing is we need to be shortening the swings and using that middle mode, using that low power mode, and using the things that I've shared with you to allow yourself to operate at your maximum potential by finding your temperance and your sweet spot, which will make you a very efficient and powerful weapon. And so this isn't about a game of like hustling, going till we run past the low power mode, then we're legit dead mode, then we get adrenal fatigue, and then we have nothing to do. All we get to do now is bring our intention to this daily and recognize that we are a vehicle that has a gas tank. It has an emotional gas tank, it has a physical gas tank, it has a spiritual gas tank. And our job is to keep our eyes on how that gas tank is operating. Is it running on fumes? Is it overflowing? And operating within that space to keep it at its best and to keep that tank where it belongs, and then utilize that energy or that excess for good, or take a step back and allow some fuel to fill back in to keep going. And so this is my stark, hard reminder for you to respect your body and to respect your battery. And this is my permission slip for you to give yourself the time to turn on low power mode. In January, if you did not listen to those episodes, specifically the ones on the Sacred Light Keeper quadrants and on the Wedge of Expectations, that is the exact tool and the exact how to execute low power mode. And low power mode is not something that you turn on and use once. It's something that you become aware of and you bring into your ecosystem every day. You bring it into your thinking, you bring it into your day, and you utilize it as the most powerful tool it is, because that, for a lack of better terms, is your sweet spot. When you can identify your low power mode and then you start to operate and recognize when you're getting there, that means you now know where your sweet spot is. And you can start working and adjusting to keep you in that sweet spot, eliminating the need to go into low power mode as much and increasing the gaps needed from when you have to take those. And so that is my stark advice today, because that little 3-letter setting has been one of the most powerful things for me. This is why I snowboard all the time. This is why I go for nature walks all the time. This is why I work in compressed windows, and other times I work in expanded windows. It's just simply because my barometer of my gas tank is the most accurate it's ever been. And I've now learned through experience and through lessons that if I don't listen to it and I try to push it past its capacity, it causes permanent damage and actually gets in the way of me having success. And so I focus on this daily, and it is a part of my thinking. And so that is my invitation for you as well. So that's what I got for today's episode. One reminder, just as you hear this, we are a couple days out from the event. I think the event starts in about 2 weeks, the last customer journey event. That's what we call it, the Lighthouse Business Accelerator. Customer journey, marketing, mindset, operations, scaling your business, increasing revenue, increasing referrals. And it's for every entrepreneur. But if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, I'm pretty sure they're already sold out. But you're going to want to get on the wait list for the next one, because we're not stopping these and people don't stop coming. And now everybody is a repeat customer and we're losing space for new ones. And so until I figure that logistic thing out, you're going to want to get on the waiting list, or maybe you're lucky and there's 1 or 2 spots left. And so go check, go see. But that is on the website. So go to mindofgeorge.com/event, or just go to mindofgeorge.com and you will see the event linked. You can go to my Instagram profile and shoot me a DM that says event, 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 and we will get it right over. But either way, take this, go re-listen to January, put this into practice, start finding your low power mode, get in momentum, get in progress, and keep crushing the game. And most importantly, remember that relationships will always beat algorithms, especially the one with yourself. So you will either see me in the next episode or you will hear me in your earballs. But either way, it's time for the outro.